Welcome back to New Realities. I'm Alan Steinfeld, and this program has been an ongoing exploration into the nature of consciousness. Who are we? Why are we here? And what is our connection to this bigger realm of spirit that we are all a part of? And that's why I am doing this show with my good friend Suzanne Ross, and she has an incredible conference coming up in Sedona. I try to do that conference every spring, but now she's doing one in the fall. I won't be able to make it because, well, I'll be in Egypt. But Suzanne, why don't you introduce the guests today and then talk about the conference, and let's just go into like the message that's coming to the world at this moment. So go ahead, Suzanne.
Thank you, Alan, and thanks so much for having us on your amazing show, New Realities TV. I so appreciate it. So yeah, I do a big conference every March in the spring, but I also do an event every fall. And for the fall event, it's just a more immersive, experiential, smaller retreat so that we can have more one-on-one focus, more small group sharing. This event includes journeys out into Sedona's sacred vortex sites, as well as indoor workshops. And for this retreat, we have a special guest, Ruben Langdon, who hosts interviews with extra dimensionals on Gaia TV, and he'll be doing a galactic roundtable with channelers who bring in the galactics, as well as taking people under the stars for a CE5 contact experience. So we're really excited about the retreat, September 21st through the 23rd at the Global Center for Christ Consciousness in Sedona. And today, for this show, I wanted to bring in the very special guest channelers, Georgia Jean, Sandrine Sauvignier, and Rob Gauthier. So I'd like to go to them and have them introduce themselves, and then I'll come back and we can talk a little bit about the special offerings that each of them will be sharing during our event.
Yeah, so why don't we go to Rob, because I know him and I really enjoy his channel. He's become quite the popular channel out there. He has a waiting list. People love him and the beings he brings in. And one more thing about channeling. I think channeling is such an important quantum leap for consciousness, because it just shows us that we are multidimensional. We have access to these other realms, and they're right here. They're right accessible once you open your mind. So Rob, share with us who you channel maybe, and what kind of message, and what are you going to do in Sedona? Yeah, and unmute. Yeah, there you go. Okay.
There we go. Yeah, I'm Rob Gauthier, the ET Whisperer. I've been a professional channeler since 2010. I am excited about this conference because I'm going to be able to do what I do best, which is teach channeling and channel and do what's most fun for me. And first of all, I'll give you a little backstory for those of you who might not know me. Rob Gauthier, I started my channeling around 2008 is when I met my guide, and then 2010 I started channeling directly. And the first guide I met, his name was Treb, and he's an amazing being, a benevolent human reptilian hybrid being who's awesome and who's really loving and heart-centered, which was very strange in the community at the time. When you heard the word reptilian, you had fear, you had concern, you had worries, but Trev came and changed a million hearts, and he's a great being. And then after I channeled him for about 3 or 4 years publicly, I met the second being who I channel, and probably most prevalently now at this point, Aradif, and he is an ancient Pleiadian who comes from the star system Deneb. And he's an amazing being. He teaches extreme amounts of conscious mechanics, how the universe works, things like that. That's where he shines, but he covers a lot of different things. And after I met him, then I connected with Metatron and the Nihal Collective, which are groups. Now, I've channeled probably over 1,000 ET consciousnesses at this point. A lot of people come and they ask for channeling and they want to meet their guides. And that's really what I'm going to be doing a lot of in Sedona. I'm going to give the opportunity for people to learn the techniques that I've taught for years that have helped a lot of other people channel, and that have helped them connect to their own guides and learn how to do the internal work too. Not just the part of, hey, the mechanical channeling is A, B, and C, but how to feel your way into it too, because that's a lot of what we miss in our channeling community now. A lot of people say it's a mental exercise. A lot of people say it's emotional exercise, and it's really a bit of both. If your mind's in the way of your heart, you'll never get there. And if your heart is only expressed and you don't use the mind to kind of think about those things where you might not be getting through, or think about, a lot of time in our community, a lot of people become highly ungrounded if they're only emotional. You have to be grounded too. Earth is the energy where we live, and we have to connect to that to connect internally and then externally too. So it's an amazing thing. Sedona, I've never been, so it's going to be a first for me, and it's going to be beautiful. As much as I've been in California, I've never been to Arizona. And Suzanne is an amazing person who put this beautiful thing together, and she brought some of the most spectacular people. I've had an opportunity to meet them, and they're beautiful, wonderful people. I'm excited to be a part of it. And thank you, Alan, too. You look great, and I see the book's doing good too. So congrats.
That's pretty good. Good to see you, Rob. And it's true, Suzanne puts on an incredible conference. The ones in the spring equinox, she puts all herself into it. This is not just a job, it's a passion. And she makes sure everything's smooth and right and everyone's taken care of. So if you're watching this, come to Sedona. We'll show how to do that after you want to introduce the next two guests, Suzanne?
Sure. So I was introduced to Georgia Jean through interviews with Extra Dimensionals. And I reached out to her, and she, so that this is Sandrine that you've enlarged. So it would be Georgia Jean, Alan.
Oh, Georgia Jean, sorry.
It's
Sorry.
okay.
I got them mixed up. Thank you. Thank you. All right.
But we will
Well,
get
we're
to
all one at the end
beautiful.
of the day. So
Yeah.
All right. Okay. We're all one.
We'll get to
Yes.
beautiful Sendry next.
Yeah.
Yes. And so Georgia Jean was featured on Interviews with Extra Dimensionals on Gaia TV. And I just loved watching her and her beautiful heart-centered energy and her channeling. And so I reached out, and she so graciously accepted. And I've just so enjoyed getting to know her. She's a beautiful, heart-centered being. Welcome, Georgia.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm really, really excited. It's interesting because you do these, different events, and over the course, I've been channeling since 2004. I had a knock you to the floor spiritual event where I connected with my guides, and I do cover a lot of that in my podcast, Coming Out of the Cosmic Closet, how it all happened and that journey. But over the years, you're on this pathway doing the work, bringing in the consciousness, having your own consciousness cracked over and over and over to allow more higher frequencies in, to allow newer concepts in, to be at the edge of the wave of consciousness as it's breaking us into a new world. And we have different points where we intersect with people, never really knowing when the thing that we're feeling, this great feeling energy of expansion, is actually going to fully come into manifestation and fruition. And Ruben and I actually met at an event called 5D Open Door. I think it was like 2017, I can't remember, which didn't quite fulfill the promise that we were feeling at that time. But that's how we connected. And then he came on my show and I went on his show. And it's exciting too. Last year was the first time I went to Sedona, or the year before. So it's really nice, without ever organizing anything, how everything starts to come back, full circle. And I think at different moments when we're really ready to materialize and physicalize the potential a lot of us have felt for a long time. And I honestly feel, because I've been channeling for 20 years and doing this work, that we really are at the moment. When 2012 came around, I was like, man, I don't think everyone's everyone's talking about it, but I don't think this is going down right now. But the sense of the energy now and the potentiality to bring that 5D promise into physicalized manifestation is really a non, I believe. And I don't say that lightly. And I'm just really pumped to get to Sedona and be part of the gateway opening and the sharing of the tools and whatever we have and the frequencies and the codes to bring this promise that we've been holding in our hearts for so long into the physicalization of a genuine, new earth consciousness. So thank you so much, everybody who's been doing this work and holding the space for a long time. And Alan, Suzanne, Sandrine did a beautiful conference. Rob, we haven't hung yet, but it really is such an exciting time for all of us, I believe.
I think you're right. It really is an exciting time, Suzanne. That's why these conferences are so important. They bring people together. So if you're isolating and you think it's an exciting time, you're feeling the vibration, then join with the community of people, not just online, because sometimes you want to actually be in person. I think the transmissions are actually more powerful in person. I mean, for me, because there's something about being embodied that we've incarnated into Earth for. And, we're forever to be online, but we're here in the body right now. So now our next special guest, Suzanne.
Yes, beautiful Sandrine Sauvignier. And I've just grown to love her and her beautiful, joyful energy and her passion for what she brings through, and just so incredibly well-versed on so many levels with advanced knowledge and wisdom. And I found her through her beautiful Golden Age spiritual ministry. So welcome, Sandrine.
Thank you so much for having me, Ellen and Suzanne. It's such a pleasure to be here. It looks like I'm the newest to the group, and I'm so excited because it feels like a family already. And I cannot wait to be in Sedona. As you say, there's nothing like being in person. And I often feel a bit isolated, at the end of the world in New Zealand. So when I received an email from Suzanne, there was a full instant body, mind, heart. Yes, of course, I'm going. It's just going to be absolutely amazing. So I started channeling consciously maybe 10 years ago after being on and off connected, because I was born with a lot of gifts in terms of connecting with alternate realities and non-physical beings. Only it was all over. So I would connect to entities, demons, lost souls, as well as advanced beings and star races. I would have visitations at night when I was living in the countryside. So it was really much all over. So I ended up praying a lot and did that to myself to close myself completely off. Only I still had massive experiences during my childhood and teenager years, until it took me to a point when they say, okay, I've got to figure out what on earth is happening to me, why I'm having so many messages about anyone that I come across with, and it's all over. And so I started educating myself, empowering myself, and really doing the inner work on understanding how to connect to my heart and to my channel, to basically do it on command. And then it just amplified and amplified until a bit 3.5 years ago, I started trance channeling the Arcturians, and that was a huge turning point into my journey of channeling, because I would go into this very deep trance state and I would sweat like a bucket, because the frequency of the Arcturian that I was channeling was so high compared to the frequency I was vibrating at, that I was required to do a lot of work to shift my vibrational point physically. And so after I started translating the Arcturians, I was really connected to the purpose of why I'm here on this planet, as being the human ambassador of the High Council of Light that I co-create with, which is made out of many star races, as well as earth elementals, earth beings like dragons, ascended master, archangels, and so on. And so as being the human ambassador, I've really been embracing a journey of embracing a lot of training. So I have a very big background in terms of yoga. I'm the third generation of yoga teacher in my family, and I've been on planet Earth forever. So everything became kind of online, and it's still happening as we are so multidimensional, right? And so now I founded the Golden Age Spiritual Ministry, which is a non-for-profit here to to help humans remember the truth of their multidimensionality, to become sovereign divine beings of light that can channel, their own heart, their own high council, their purpose, and that really step into their full power. So we work with a body of work that we call a fractal reflection theory, and that really teaches quantum embodiment of this multidimensionality. So we work a lot with the body on how to activate crystalline divine genome through different exercises, pranayama, and so on, as well as connecting with the macrocosm. So what I love with my team and my high council, it's like we like to geek. We geek a lot. So they tell me, like, you need to learn about quantum physics, you need to learn about biology, microbiology, and all of these things. So I end up, watching Gaia a lot and studying a lot. So I can actually channel concepts that are often so advanced that I understand them myself. And it takes a while to integrate these blocks of information until I can share that with my students and my clients. So the energy is really amplifying at the moment, and I really cannot wait to gather with so amazing channels, and all our families of the light is going to be a huge party. My galactic family, my high council gets very excited as I do, and I can just feel that every time I'm here online with everyone, and we also feel in this vortex that co-create together all our families of the light, and on top of that, all the humans that are going to come and that are going to bring their family of the light. It's going to be a huge reunion of family members, of long lost friends, because most likely we have known each other in other alternate realities, parallel lives, and so on. So we have really a great excitement in coming, and we will be sharing around activating our Ka body, which is the Egyptian terminology for the pranic body or the energetic body. So we can really activate that to unlock more of a crystalline divine genome. It contains all of the information about who we are and how we can activate that to also activate more of our own channeling abilities. I love, like Rob, teaching about channeling. I have a school of channeling, and it is always my greatest excitement, because to me, everybody can channel. It's just we haven't learned that at school, and this is why I'm opening, why I have the school and I'm doing it. So yes.
Oh, great. Great. I just want to say Sedona is a portal, I feel, to Arcturus. And I'd love to hear some Arcturians later in the program, because they seem to be like the species of the week, maybe for me, or something like that. But yes.
I too feel really connected to the Arcturians. And when I had my missing time experience off my back deck here in 2017 with two friends, and we lost 4 hours of time, we called upon the Arcturians, the three of us, to have more direct contact. Went out on my back deck. Suddenly there was a huge explosion of white light on the horizon. Then we all felt dizzy and grabbed the handrail. And then on the stairwell, which I have motion detectors on, the motion detector on the bottom step went off, the middle step, and the upper step, as if someone was coming up the stairs, but we didn't see anybody. And then the next thing I did is I turned to look at my friends, and I was like, oh, it's so cold out here. Let's go inside. And we were all kind of disoriented and exhausted. And I said, I'm going to bed. I don't know why I'm going to bed at 8 o'clock at night, but I'm exhausted. And that's when I went to the kitchen and turned my phone over, and it said 12:40. And that's when we realized we'd lost 4 hours of time. Later, I went to a psychic here in Sedona who right away just, put me in sort of a light hypnotic trance state. And we discovered that it was the Arcturians who had come. They had come in an invisibility shield. 3 got out, came up the stairs, took me and my other 2 friends down into their pod ship, up into a larger mothership, where then we were downloaded with different spiritual technologies, abilities, gifts, wisdom, knowledge. And that all started to just come through in these massive downloads after that. And I developed the ability then to see interdimensionally, communicate with these interdimensional beings, understand who I was being in all these different dimensions. And then I realized I could do it for other people. And so now I do multidimensional soul reunions as part of the offerings. Also out here in Sedona, I not only have a spiritual center where I do that, but I guide spiritual journeys out on the land in Sedona's sacred vortex sites and been doing that for years. And so as part of this event, we will be offering guided journeys into Sedona's sacred vortex sites. And I'll be taking people to a special spot in Red Rock State Park called the Apache House of Fire. And Sandrina will also be taking people to the Apache House of Fire on another day. But Red Rock State Park is an amazing place. Georgia Jean will be taking people to the Tree of Life there, also known as the Wedding Tree. And so that's going to be amazing. And Rob Gauthier is going to be taking people to the beautiful Amitabha Peace Park, where there's a gorgeous Buddha stupa, as well as golden statue of Buddha Shakyamuni. And then we hike past that into powerful Thunder Mountain. So all of us will be offering journeys into Sedona's sacred vortex sites. I'll be including transcendence tools and techniques, as well as my crystal balls and chimes and drumming and the magic I create during my sacred vortex journeys.
Suzanne, this is sounding so amazing. I know I'm busy doing my own little spiritual adventure in Egypt, but it sounds like a great, great conference. So just show people why we still, people are still tuning in and excited, how to get there, where it is, where exactly, how do they register, and how do they become part of this amazing journey of spirit?
Yes,
so
here we go. And so this is our site, SedonaTranscendenceRetreat.com. And as you scroll down, you can see here is our flyer with everyone who's going to be coming. I mean, today we have these beautiful channelers, but we also have the intuitive warrior, Michael Jaco, who I love, Melissa Fike, who tunes into the Galactic Akasha, world-renowned spiritual teacher, Maureen St. Germain, who is going to be doing 8D Merkaba embodiment and spiral chakra journey, as well as a special guest, Isabella Green. And Isabella Green lives here locally in Sedona, and she's going to just be there for 30 minutes channeling the Andromedans. She's a metaphysical specialist and does an amazing channeling with the Andromedans. And then, of course, like I said, Ruben Langdon's going to host a CE5 contact experience under the stars, as well as a galactic roundtable. And during that galactic roundtable, Sandrine, Georgia, and Rob are going to be seated there while the audience members come up and ask questions of the beings that they're channeling. So that's going to be amazing for people. And then we're also going to have, during the CE5 experience indoors, we're going to be having both a galactic and shamanic guided sound journey. And so the CE5 is on both Friday and Saturday night, but also indoors on Friday and Saturday night, we'll be having the sound journey. So people can go on the CE5 one night, and on the other night, they can go engage in one of the indoor sound journeys. And that'll be guided by John Dumas, who Alan.
Right. But what's the website? How do you register? What is the actual?
Yeah, SedonaTranscendenceRetreat.com.
Oh, okay. I'll put that in the chat.
Thank you. SedonaTranscendenceRetreat.com. And there's the dates and all of this information here about everything it involves. We have lots of videos on the homepage of the website so that you can, tune into everyone. And then, of course, you can click through the presenters, and that has all of the bios and, what the presentations will be for each of the beautiful presenters. And then the workshop page has a specific description and schedule of all of the different workshops that'll be offered. Same with the outdoor journeys page, a description of all the outdoor journeys to help you make your choices. Here's the schedule of events for all 3 days. We have vendors also joining us. There's still spots for vendors if you're a vendor and you'd like to join us. And then, of course, the tickets page has some descriptions and then the different passes that you can purchase.
Great.
Yes.
This is great. No. So it's HTTPS. Is that the or HTTWW?
Yeah, sure. I can put that in the chat room here
Yeah,
by
do that.
copying it right now.
Yeah. Great. 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 So yeah, I'm excited for you, for Sedona, for the gathering. So I think it's important now because things are changing. The vibration is shifting as we go into this new time. So Rob, what are you getting? What is like you're coming through you? What is the frequency? How can we adjust? And what's going on, basically?
Well, first of all, the last couple of years, my guides have talked about community and the vital importance of community to connect with other people with similar beliefs, and to connect with your local community. A lot of crazy things in the world are happening, and a lot of energies are just out of balance for a lot of people. But if you connect with the people around you, find common cause, common heart, common connection, that's important. And then you go to your spiritual community and you connect with people who have the same desires that you do, with spiritual growth and consciousness. And everything that's involved with your own excitement, just act on that. And it's very important to do that as much as you can, as frequently as you can, and with as many people as you can. They've also talked a lot about connecting internally. A lot of the people right now are going through confusion because, let's face it, the internet is something where we're getting information thrown at us a million miles a second. It's been reduced to 1-minute videos, and that's how you have to take in most of your information. Discernment internally is something people worry about. How do I know what's right? How do I know what's wrong? And that's the emotional energy you really have to balance. You have to feel it. You have to feel it in your gut. You have to feel it in your heart. You have to feel it in your third eye. You have to really take it in and put it through the processing. So that's important because, we got the news now saying, hey, UFOs, ETs, Las Vegas, reptilians, and all sorts of stuff. And people are confused. And that's really important to process. And it's okay to be confused. It's okay to not know. It's okay for all those things to happen. But the processing internally is a very important part. So they focus a lot on that. And contact has always been a big thing. And my guides have talked about it since I was first started channeling Treb. The internal connection is where it all starts. After that, then you can connect through your higher self to whatever type of beings telepathically in meditation and dream states. And then that will lead to the physical. And it'll happen to groups of people first, individuals, then groups, then the collective gets that whole exchange. So that's kind of where the focus has been, at least in the last couple of years.
Great. That's great. And of course, the frequency, and that's why I love channeling, because the frequency of consciousness that comes through in the channeled state is one where you're bringing through the higher energies. Looks like Georgia's already there, and so is Sandrine. Should we bring something through, Georgia? Are you tuning in? Go ahead. Tell us who. Oh, go ahead. Just go for it.
Indeed, dear ones. Thank you very much for your invitation here. We have moved Georgia aside, as we are wont to do. And we're very delighted to come through and bring some response to your asking of what is happening right now. And what we are primarily wanting to share in general, as well as a designed way to share it at the retreat that is specific to the themes there, is the idea of the bandwidth shift that is going on right now. And a very important aspect of that is what we are calling de-anchoring. To give you a sort of rundown of what has been going on in this process of moving into a 5D bandwidth, for a long time, dear ones have been occupied with harvesting energy out of the old framework of reality to build the 5D construct so it can support more and more of humanity moving on to that 5D grid and generating reality from that. So part of all of the chaos that you've been seeing, and many dear ones' personal journey of looking at where resistance exists in their life internally and in the collectively, and sort of pulling energy out of that, processing that through that personal journey, and then giving that energy to the heart center that has the blueprint for generating the new reality. We really want you all to understand that if your minds could generate the new reality that is coming, you would already be experiencing it. And so the surrender process to the heart, which is really to move out of the heart, even as you may still use your mind as a tool to function within it, but to move out of the belief structure and framework of the mind, surrender into the heart, so that heart blueprint manifestation can come into physical manifestation and fruition. But the process that is now available, because of so many dear ones who have been doing so much work for such a long time, pulling out the energy for the old framework and building and strengthening the 5D grid, is the point of de-anchoring. It is the point of pulling out the plugs for many individual stories and many broader collective stories. You're pulling the plugs out of the 3D framework that feeds and generates those stories. And in pulling the plug, essentially, you are creating a lot more space on your hard drive, which is the processor of your brain that generates reality, for the new stories to come in. This is how the bandwidth shift happens. It's not so much anymore about trying to fix everything that is wrong on the planet or that is wrong in humanity. It's now about just pulling the plug from the energy source that feeds those stories. And we want to give you a simple metaphor to help dear ones understand why this is available at this time and why it's really, really important. We like this metaphor of moving houses. If you were going to move house, you would spend a certain amount of time kind of going through the old house, cleaning it up, deciding what you want to take to the new house. But at a certain point, you move. You move and you don't keep going back to the old house to fix it up. And many dear ones who have been here as part of this evolutionary shift and been doing the work of planetary template purification, of looking at the broader issues of humanity, of pulling out energy from those frameworks in order to build a new framework entirely, can have a difficult time saying, oh, is it really okay for me now to sort of stop worrying about all that stuff that we've been seeing and trust that there's actually just a new consciousness arising? And we're here to really give that message. Yes, now, dear ones, is the time. It's okay to let go, and it's okay to move into your personal new bandwidth experience, because reality is a focal point. What you experience is a focal point, and it is needed for more and more dear ones to put their focus into the new bandwidth, to strengthen it, to create a strong enough vibrational frequency in that bandwidth that it will draw up those who are still sort of struggling in the 3D, in this sort of halfway house between the 3D and the 5D. It will strengthen the vibrational field to pull people up. And many dear ones who've been doing a lot of work, who have been doing a lot of the work for the collective, are radiating this heart frequency now, this 5D bandwidth frequency. So in truth, when you look around at the world and say, oh, well, there's still so many people who haven't even come close to becoming conscious and doing the process that I've done to get here. Well, dear ones, it's the strength of the bandwidth that you're building will take them into it. It will actually help dear ones just to become heart-centered and be generating reality in that bandwidth. So we want to get that across, dear ones. You don't need to worry so much about how it's all going to happen. You just have to now start to allow yourself to move into your bandwidth and strengthen it. And we'll be sharing some very special tools to assist and to facilitate the process.
Well, I just have a comment because I really like what you're talking about, whatever your name is. Yeah, and that's happening to me for sure. And for me, it's about looking for the new opportunities. Like, it's like, if you're just going along the same way things are going, you're not, and then something new comes along, you're going to put it into an old box. But I think what you're saying, letting go of the past and all that, is the new opportunities are appearing on the horizon, and we have to make ourselves available for that.
Indeed, yes. And
Yes.
and it really is, because many of you have been doing so much work and you've been running on the train of healing, or of expanding in a way that could even build this potentiality. The potentiality has arrived now, and we need, dear ones, to move on it, to get in there and to boost that field. And de-anchoring, we want to help you understand, is a process even beyond many of the usual ideas of sort of cutting cords or letting go of things. It's a specific process to unplug the mental, emotional, physical, energetic, and biological anchors into the old 3D grid framework that generate the storylines of the 3D, and very often the suffering of the 3D that humanity collective has been propagating for a long time. So again, it's an unplugging. Now, you, dear ones, in your minds, what is behind that unplugging is a very powerful piece of consciousness technology that, if you try and do it just with your mind, in the sense of, oh, I think I can control this process from my mind, even at my current level of wisdom, you're missing the opportunity to access an extraordinarily powerful mechanism for transformational change that's accessed through the heart center, and actually has the mechanics to do that de-anchoring work that will pop you into the new 5D bandwidth.
Great. That is great. Isn't that good, Suzanne?
Yes, I love everything that you're saying about the 5D bandwidth, and it made me laugh when you called the fourth dimension a halfway house.
Well, we do want to just add this, especially for those dear ones who are opening up energetically and are opening up their multidimensional capabilities, because something that is sort of going on with the opening up of multidimensional abilities through the mind gateway means that a lot of the conditioning and the programming, which is part of the 3D consciousness and the mind, and contains the illusions of the mind, like the illusion of separation, illusion of polarity, decay and entropy of the body, and the survival consciousness, which are all markers of the 3D reality, is if you are opening up energetically while you're seated in the mind, you're going to amplify those illusions into the multidimensional realm. And because the multidimensional realm is faster moving and more quote unquote omnipotent than the 3D realm, it can get really weird for people out there. And this is a sort of a struggle that dear ones are having right now, because they're trying to generate the new reality half still seated in the mind. And that kind of halfway house is where things can get really weird for people. And a lot of people can get caught and in that confusion and a very unsafe feeling space there in that mind-based projection into the multidimensional. So you really want to make that leap it's a free will choice to move the focal point of your consciousness from the mind projector into the heart. And then, as dear one Rob is saying, using the mind as a tool to respond to what is being generated from the heart center.
Yeah, thank you. The heart seems to be coming online. Yes. Thank you. That's great. Sandrine, what do you want to bring anybody through? I'm always excited who's going to show up.
So.
Yes.
Very much so. We feel very much like Actarians are coming. So we're going to start channeling from that frequency. We make very many sounds. We love this speaking light language because it instantly recalibrates the field of the channel sending to the ability to be able to bring us through. When we say bring us through, what is the frequency really that Sandrine is channeling right now? It is not an other extra dimensional being popping into her body. She is actually connecting to her own oversoul network, which is also very strongly Arcturian frequency. So she is actually turning something within her crystalline divine genome that allows her to channel a part of her own self, multidimensional self. Every single one of you have that ability as you are multidimensional beings. So today, the teachings, the sharings that we have for you, everyone, dear ones, it is that once you understand that the ascension process comes from the conscious spiritual evolution undertaken by a human, you will be able to understand that to become really ascended into the higher realms of existence, fifth dimensional and above frequencies, if you prefer, it is for you to remember the truth of your own quantum divinity. You are a microcosm and a macrocosm. You are everything and nothing. You are fractal of God consciousness itself. So if you think something's going around outside in the world, look inside. What are you not attending to? Because everything that you are projecting, this quantum shared reality comes from your inner microcosm. So if you were to go all the way to a DNA, all the way to the atom, all the way to the quantum space between nucleus and electron, you would realize that there reside in nothingness, the infinite quantum where all potential exists. Nothing resides there until you pull a thought, until you pull a thread out of the quantum, and it activates electromagnetic current within the cell that therefore is going to co-create with the nearby cell, saying, are you speaking the same language? Are you desiring the same things? Do you have the same intention? The problem comes from humans not understanding their own physicality. The physicality is not a curse, it is a gift. The human body, if the human body was the purest of the purest, has never been traumatized, broken, or destroyed by all the food and the chemicals and the pollution that is residing in your environment right now, the human body is the most potent electromagnetic engineering quantum dynamic that we can find through multiverses. As us being of the light, we observe very strongly that ascension process in humanity will happen when the human drop in physicality, loving physicality, enjoy pleasures of life, not only by stuffing their face with drug, alcohol, and all polluted bad food that is currently present in humanity, but by removing the clutter, every clutter from the human body, therefore reclaiming the activation car electromagnetic field that create realities, and you can feel that. It is very much like if you have a magnificent orgasm after beautiful sexual connection with a partner in a beautiful sacred way, then the climax activates the heart chakra above the body, and therefore you feel this electromagnetic field happening. Once you can understand how to activate that consciously for yourself within simply the breath and consciousness, heart connection through chakra system and your own molecular structure, it means that you can live literally in bliss state no matter what happens. You can walk the life in orgasmic connection with the universe. Therefore, do you think that you are going to witness all the drama that is happening on there in terms of separation template? That person said this, that person said that, the war here, the inflation there, all of these, how can we say that? Yes, all that is happening beyond the veil in the law 3D matrix system with all the reptilians enslaving humanity. You can choose to feed onto that, to be scared of that, to bring up more narrative around that, or you can choose to witness that is a reality unfolding outside of myself. Do I want to be part of the separation templates of saying these are the good ones, these are the bad ones, which therefore create separation within my own heart, when actually everyone, from the birth of creation through multidimensional time and space reality all the way to this day, you have always been within the one unified field. You have never left it. You have never been separated ever. It is only the veils of your own illusions amplified through plugins from matrix system, law, dance, vibrating matrix system that make you believe that you are separated from your God self. Once you realize and you remember that you are actually a God incarnated in a physical human body, you can start doing the inner work of removing all the fragments of your subconscious mind, of your fragmented consciousness that prevent you from living from that truth. For example, I am not worthy of having that amount of money. I am not worthy of having this beautiful divine union. I am not worthy of going to Sedona Transcendent Retreat because I've got so much to do. I might not be good enough. I might not have the money and the time to do all the things my heart longs to do. You are preventing yourself from experiencing the most exciting, accelerated pathway of evolution during this great awakening that humanity is undergoing, because you turn your back against your own self. And as you turn your back against your own self, thinking that you don't deserve the best of life, to have it all, simply because you breathe and you dance and you sing on this planet, therefore you turn yourself against the world and you become a victim. You place yourself as the victim, therefore amplifying the trauma cycle of being traumatized by external reality and inflicting more trauma over your own self. Once you remember that you are the unified fields embodied within physicality, you can place yourself as the angel behind your human, guide your humans, as if you had your angel beside you, which is always the case, dear one. You're never alone. You're always surrounded. It is only the veils of your own illusions that prevent you from seeing that you are surrounded. You are surrounded by your family of the light from the start, but also from the earth. You are so supported always to be able to connect more deeply. Learn to connect with your own heart, with your own body. Speak of your body, of your heart, of your mind, of your life, of your family, of your friends highly. Always speak praising others, uplifting yourself, being your best friend, your best mate, your best lover, all the things to your own self. Therefore, you will create the shift within the quantum fabric of life that will therefore allow you to witness the mirroring back at you through the principle of quantum resonance of law of attraction. If you prefer, you attract what you vibe. That is law. So vibe high for your body, have I had for your heart, for your dreams, for the reality that you're here to create, because this is a very, very exciting time, as we always carry the message that now on planet Earth, we can organize gigantic parties to celebrate the great awakening of consciousness. Instead of always, dear human, we love you, but we also poke you with love. Always just wondering why everything is so complicated, how bad things are going to get, when are you going to be saved by us? Dear ones, we are here already. We just rejoice into the reunion of families of the light as humanity ascends. We foresee that depending on the accelerated process of evolution, finally, you will be able to join the star nations as one unified consciousness. No, you're not even really a civilization. To be considered a true star civilization, you need to be able to co-create as one human race, promoting life together. No, humans, they just spend their time moaning about their neighbor, criticizing everyone, therefore destroying life, destroying everyone's energy and heart, and traumatizing each other. You are trapped within these cycles of suffering that is very similar to what they experience in star nations of Sirius. The star nations of Sirius have also experienced a very, very dense level of contrast, intensity, and trauma, far beyond what human comprehend, way worse. They went from there to having this very strong enslavement program in low matrix system to become one of the most powerful, beautiful, exciting, diverse star nation that is not currently helping humanity to ascend. So it is possible. It has been done before. Only for that, you have to choose to see everyone on the planet as someone who is experiencing a kind of experience that you might not relate to, but that using your God's right, a creator, to choose the filter of acceptance, compassion, freedom, of letting go. Everybody has their own experience, and therefore there will be this kind of reorganization of structures around the planet that are going to come in more to sustain life, to promote life, to encourage every single human to express the truth of their own divinity without being jealous or without competition. So we foresee this. You will become an extremely powerful star nation because once humans understand how to activate our body, they can start transcending into realms like the great Hathor in ancient Egypt did and opened the stargate to Sirius so people could shapeshift through Syrian avatar body and human avatar body. This is possible. It's just a change in molecular structure, very, very easy. Like Jesus Christ performed many molecular structure transformation as well as Babaji and many other ascended masters. Do you think they're very different than you? If you think masters are way different than you, think again. That is placing separation template. If you perceive that if they exist, if they are present, if you are attracted to embracing your own spiritual evolution, then you can also acknowledge with great humility that you are a master walking the path of remembering. Because through architecture of life and timelines, dear one, it has already happened. You have already gone through the shift. Time and space is a construct. So as we speak from dimensions that oversees a tiny dot within creation itself. It has already happened. So learn to zoom out, connect with galactics like us, Arcturians and other galactics, as well as channels here as this panel present. So you can have the big view and you stop narrowing down to tiny problems. So it had happened already. You have already walked the path of mastery yourself. And as human race, you have already ascended into the highest realms of golden age. Why? It's because you're receiving this message. So you are part of the population that knows and that feels and that is certain to ascend. This is why you're receiving this message, because you are switching to a frequency that you are able to receive right now, which is a frequency that says peace is there already. The unified field is present already. It has always been the case. So how can you relax, enjoy life, do the work of being very happy, good, compassionate towards your own self and your neighbors, your friends, your community, and continue doing the inner work and relentlessly choose love as your guiding force. Every time there is a message that comes and that wants to make you judge or think poorly about someone, catch yourself like this. Say, is this love? Am I choosing love as I place this person below my own pedestal, or as I place that other person above my pedestal? No pedestal. One love, one consciousness, one compassion. So this is the message we want to share with you today of great excitement. And we are very, very excited to finally come for our current purpose or current destiny through the channel Sandrine into manifesting dreams and vision that she has had since a little girl. Since little girl, she could see herself doing crazy things like she's doing now in front of a big public. So thank you very much, Suzanne, for making this a reality. You are family. We love you very dearly. Thank you and bye for now.
Wow. Thank you. Suzanne, what do you think about all these people coming together?
I just can't believe my good fortune to even be connected with such incredible beings. And I'm just so grateful to these beautiful individuals, grateful to the universe for calling upon me to have this opportunity to fulfill my divine mission, which it really is, to have these events in one of the most powerful vortex sites on the planet, this Red Rock paradise of Sedona. And so I'm just feeling so incredibly blessed, because truly what you're sharing is so powerful, so applicable to the times that we're in as we move into this golden age, Alan, and all of us are experiencing more enlightenment, more inspiration, more empowerment through our incredible galactic family. So thanks, you guys.
Well, I don't want to interrupt, but I do want to
No,
say, with Suzanne, when I met her, me and my wife used to put events together before our baby came, our Lilith, our little baby Lilith. We were putting a lot of events together. This is something that's not for the weak-hearted or weak-minded people. It's an extremely grueling task to organize, to get a place where you can meet, to set up everything. It's a grueling thing, but Suzanne takes this to a level with her excitement. And I've met a lot of event coordinating people, people who either were a part of the industry or outside of it, who just put together stuff. And I've never met someone who's as excited as she was when she first contacted me, and ever since we've been communicating about this thing. And that says a lot, because me and my wife did all channeling events, right? So we had dozens of channelers coming in one place at one time. And this is something, to me, that's been my most powerful experiences. When I was with other channelers, channeling, sharing a common place of that energy going through us. And when the people who come to these events are bringing their higher self and guides, it's an electric energy that's never reproducible. As beautiful as this online communication is, as beautiful as connecting with friends are, doing videos on YouTube, that's all great. But being there together physically, it's so powerful. And I just think with Suzanne and her excitement, it's a testament to how the event will be, because I've never met someone who's done a successful event who didn't want to do an event, who was, moping through the thing. And I've never seen someone who genuinely loved what they were doing fail at it either. So bravo, Suzanne. Thank you for everything.
Yeah, that is amazing, Suzanne. She's like this for every event, I have to tell you, because she is just full of excitement. She's just full of enthusiasm and passion. And what is it, Suzanne, in you that makes you so passionate about bringing people together every spring equinox, now every fall equinox? What is it that you feel that's coming out of you in these ways,
I really feel passionate about helping people prepare for the 5D ascension experience, and also to help people experience transcendence. And that includes not just spiritual practices, which of course we do as well, but also the wisdom and the knowledge. I think we're all being called upon to activate the right and left brain for ascension, to become more evolved and advanced beings, to become the best version of our highest self every day in everything that we think and say and do. But we need support and guidance in doing that on a spiritual level, but also to evolve our intelligence. Right. And so understanding, like Sandrine was saying, about quantum physics, about biology. And so it really requires an event where we have these people who are tuned in to the 5D consciousness, who are bringing through higher dimensional beings, who are powerful spiritual teachers, who have been on the path for years, to come on stage to offer that enlightenment but also to share the sacred wisdom, the knowledge, and the spiritual practices, the tools and the techniques, like channeling. So you're tuning in to these higher dimensional beings. You're creating these portals into higher realms. And then the teachers, who are teaching these techniques of 8D Merkaba embodiment, or myself, I teach all about the higher chakras, the 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, and even the 13th gateway chakra. These are all really powerful tools and techniques for enhancing your experience of life today, but also giving you that knowledge, that inspiration, that empowerment so that you can ascend into higher 5D consciousness. Many of us right now, we're done learning through 3D separation and suffering, and we're really seeking that unity, that peace and harmony. We want it for ourselves, but we want it for all of our beautiful brothers and sisters too. And so when we come together in these gatherings, we unite our light brothers and sisters, and we feel this profound sense of oneness with them. We love them. We love everyone, not just on the planet, but throughout the galaxy, throughout the cosmos, and in all of creation. But when we come together with like-minded brothers and sisters, we really feel supported on our journeys. And so I know that when people come to these events, not only are they connecting with their brothers and sisters, they're also learning, they're also evolving. People's lives are changed in a really powerful, positive way. And that is my heart's true desire and why I'm so passionate about it.
Wow, Suzanne, I never heard you be that eloquent and passionate. It's growing in you. You're an example of the 5D energies coming in and activating people. So maybe we'll go around one more time and maybe see if there's any other messages. Like I'm interested in the ET stuff. Do you want to start out with that, Georgia, and see if like there's a special ET type frequency?
Greetings, dear one. Thank you for the invitation. We are coming through because Georgia was actually also channeling Arcturian energy today for a client earlier. So it's a little easy for a pop in. And what we want to share, and this is a bit of a surprise to Georgia, that we are visiting in this way, is that we are gathering to support this evolutionary shift on the planet. And Arcturian consciousness is what some may call the wisdom keepers of the allness, in that we have tracked all consciousness's motions through all expressions and seen how evolutionary shifts occur through micro and broader adjustments to the portal through which consciousness projects to create reality. One thing we want to share with our human friends is that you have brains that operate in a very specific fashion to generate reality. All things that you experience do come through the portal of your brain. And a powerful thing to understand is to release the assumption that all other beings of consciousness project and exist in the same way, because it can become very disheartening for dear ones who are wanting to make connection in a way the human consciousness understands connection. Physical being talking to physical being. When, as other dear ones have been saying, first it is frequency within which will generate the projectional reality you will experience. And we're inviting our dear ones who are coming to this gathering or who are seeking connection with galactic consciousness, with multidimensional beings, to have that open mind and heart to receive the consciousness as it presents itself, rather than projecting a human expectation of what even a conversation looks like. We utilize channels because it is a way that we can express through physical form in a way that you understand conversationally, through one physical body speaking with language, presenting with eyes and hands and whatnot in front of you. But the truth is, many consciousnesses do not express in this same way. And we want you to understand and open up to that, because right now you can be having your contacts. Right now you can be coming into union with all the expressions of consciousness that are seeding new intelligence right now, so you can have a new personal and collective reality. All reality is generated through codes of creation, and codes of creation can be brought through any day of the week, dear ones. Once you bring in your codes of creation and embody them, then you, through the portal of your brain, will have a visceral, physicalized experience of new consciousness. But this is what we wanted to share, because it's very important to, again, surrender the mind's expectations to allow what is coming to arrive. You're going to receive your new consciousness creation. You will receive it through receiving the codes. Then your brain will be able to generate it for you. Does that make sense, dear ones? We do want to have people understand that we're not all people as you would want to experience, but we enjoy to come through the channels so we can make a connection in a way that feels relative to what you understand connection to be.
Thank you, Georgia. Are you there, Alan? Oh, where did Alan go? I am the host now.
Oh, he disappeared for a second. He'll probably.
So maybe Alan had to run, go do something, but it has been an hour now. So maybe it's a good time to just wrap it up and to, thank everybody for tuning in, and thank all of you beautiful guests for coming on. I invite you all to join us for this incredibly beautiful retreat experience in the powerful vortex of Sedona. Just go to SedonaTranscendenceRetreat.com. Once you purchase your pass, you'll have the opportunity to make choices about what activities you want to engage in, if you're a VIP pass or preferential pass guest. And if you're not, if you choose the Transcendence Pass, then we'll make the choices for you and just kind of intuitively tune in what might be a good fit for you during this journey. So we certainly hope that you'll join us. We all send you so much love and light, and we look forward to seeing you in Sedona. Thank you all.
Thank you, Suzanne. Thank you, guys. It's nice to see you again, Sadrine. Nice to see you again, Georgia.
Thank you very much, everybody. And I just, as a human, want to also thank you very much, Suzanne, because I too know that it is a monumental task to put together retreats and events. It's massive. And you're not only dealing with the logistics, but in some ways dealing with the resistance of the collective to this information. Otherwise it would already be. So I really want to thank you for taking that on and creating the space, and you too, Sandrine, for your summit. It was awesome.
Thank you everyone. It's been a great pleasure. Thank you, Suzanne, for always bringing us all together. I feel like a family reunion and my heart is full. I cannot wait to see you and everyone and everybody that's going to join after listening to this. So yay.
Yay, a collective yay.
Ellen, wherever you are. Thanks for having us on, Ellen.
Bye all. See you in Sedona. Mwah.